Final Fantasy 7 and 14. So we got 3 trailers we're gonna watch today. The first one, Final Fantasy 7 E3 2015 trailer. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen this before, but really, who knows? Only 2 minutes long, and then we're gonna go for Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers full trailer, and then another 14 Endwalker full trailer, May of 2021. I am trying to remember what Final Fantasy stuff I've watched before, and I just remember the guy was kind of hot. That's it, and that's all I got. And there was some fantasy stuff. I feel like if I see it again, I'm gonna remember it. They were like at a bar, and then they were somewhere else and at the bar, and they were telling the story of the other thing that we were seeing. Anyways, before we get into that, if you did not already know, I am a self-published author. These are my books. Magic Required and Dominion Required follow the story of a Celtic demigod who is trying to seek a redemption he is not sure he deserves. Blood, Kin, and Curses follows the story of a girl named Dyson Blake who is a newly turned vampire discovering a world she never knew existed. And I am now an Audible affiliate, and you can use my link audibletrial.com/Hannah to get 30 days for free with Audible. With your membership, you get 1 credit a month along with full access to all of the included titles. You get access to Audible originals and podcasts, and a membership price on all of their audiobooks, and they have thousands of titles from business, wellness, celebrity memoirs. You could use your credit even on a bestseller. I love using my credits on bestsellers because they're so expensive otherwise. You can also use that Audible credit to check out 2 of my 3 fantasy novels. Hopefully my 3rd one will be on there soon. Magic Required and Dominion Required both have audiobooks, and I am currently working on the audiobook for Blood, Kin, and Curses. If you have been thinking about trying Audible, I encourage you to use my link audibletrial.com/Hannah. And then one of my books, one of these, oh, not this one, these ones. Hopefully 3 soon. Thank you so much to everyone who's given my books a try. You can get Magic Required or Dominion Required for free with the audibletrial.com/Hannah link. Thank you so much, even just for clicking on this video, and let's get into things here, shall we? All right. Final Fantasy Roman numerals. E3 2015. Damn it.
Long ago, we looked upon a foreboding sky.
Okay. South Edge.
The memory of the star that threatened all burns eternal in our hearts. In its wake came an age of silence.
Ominous.
Yet with each fond remembrance, we knew those encountered were not forgotten.
This is like a completely different
that someday
setting than what I remember.
Again. Perhaps it was no more than wishful thinking. But after the long calm, there are now the beginnings of a stir. The reunion at hand may bring joy. It may bring fear. But let us embrace whatever it brings. For they are coming back. At last, the promise has been made.
That's a big friggin' sword. No, that's not it. What? What? I want more. Okay, so we're diverging from the plan. Oh, final trailer. I don't want the final one. I want all of them in a row. Trailers. Remake official trailer. Okay, we're gonna do that one. So we just did this one 2 years ago. That must be a re-upload, right? If that one was 7 years ago. And then final trailer, we'll do that one after. Okay, sorry, the 14 stuff will have to wait for another video. 2019, what? A year ago? I wanna watch these 2. What? Shit, I'm confused. Oh, what do I do? Theme song, final trailer, remake, 2 years ago. I'm fucking confused, guys. Okay, let's go for this one here. 2020, so, I don't care.
What did you want to talk about?
What the heck is going on? That's what I want to talk about.
When spring comes, I'm leaving town. I'm going to Midgar.
Midgard.
I'm going to be a soldier.
The best of the best. Like Sephiroth.
Oh.
Tell me, is it really you?
Well, he looks evil.
Are we on schedule?
Please, Mr. President, I am asking you to reconsider. No, begging.
Director Twisty.
The stench of the director's cowardice fills the room yet again.
Rude.
Saturation confirmed.
Engaging materia cooling to reduce temperature.
Madam Director, you have a meeting shortly.
Stop. Your timing is impeccably atrocious.
Oh dear, oh dear. A man of my refined taste running out of butter.
Is this just a trailer about a bunch of horrible people?
Honeybee Inn, Cloud.
Oh.
True beauty is an expression of the heart. A thing without shame, to which notions of gender don't apply. Perfection. Not a word.
Not even one?
No!
That was a little steamy.
You're so pretty.
Today's right to be is...
Today's?
Pathetic.
Huh? Which one of you said that? You got a mouth on you!
Well, aren't we having a wonderful time kicking the hornet's nest?
You know what I want. A second dance. Just the two of us.
So what the hell is it?
A fascinating question.
Oh.
Did it just talk?
I am that which you see before you. Nothing more.
I think there was something more. Oh!
A touching reunion.
Very, very good.
What is happening?
And thus is the hypothesis proven correct. I can only hope you will continue not to disappoint.
I'm definitely missing something. Like, I apologize.
Anyway,
Come on!
Oh, now we're inside the game. Okay. There are also dragons.
We're here to rescue Erik.
That sword
remember?
is so stupid
We don't need
big.
more attention than what we're gonna get.
How can you not get attention with the size of that sword?
I know these people, and I know they're never gonna let Aerith go. She's the last living ancient on the planet. Think about
Last
what that means to
living
Shinra's scientists.
ancient.
This is...
The source of everything. Genova.
Ew, dirty.
Suck on this!
The music is very like...
The Shinra Electric Power
I don't know how to
Company
articulate
isn't
that.
a real enemy. I promise you, there's a much bigger threat. I just want to do everything in my power to help all of you and the planet.
Very confused. More than a remake. It's gonna explain things, right?
Despite its title, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not a remake.
Oh.
Not really. Instead, it's a complete reimagining of Square's most famous JRPG, albeit one that remains slavishly faithful to the tone and world of its source material. The development team have seemingly captured the very essence of
Role-playing game,
nostalgia
what's
that is
the J?
powering fans' hopes and dreams and injected it into a 21st century action game. It's a game that plays nothing like the 1997 original, but simultaneously feels just like it.
Okay, cool.
Square Enix's decision to go beyond a basic remake that simply recreates the old game with modern graphics means that Final Fantasy VII Remake is a very different game. It's now split into multiple games, with the first chapter set entirely in Midgar, the iconic grimy city ruled by the Shinra Electric Company.
Okay.
That means the first game finishes as the party escapes from Midgar. In the original game, this section can be done in around 6 or 7 hours, but in Remake, this chapter of the story is as big as a standard Final Fantasy game. It's so big, in fact, that it takes up 2 whole Blu-ray discs.
What does that mean? How much time? How many
In some
hours is
respects,
that?
Midgar won't be as you remember it. Producer Yoshinori Kitase, who is the original game's director, promises that the remake has completely restructured the
I
boss
cannot with
placements
that
and character
friggin'
growth for the
sword
Midgar
thing.
chapter in order to make it feel like a single game. The redesigned city will allow players to get closer to the citizens who live there, presumably via side quests and new additional story beats. But while it promises many changes, Remake is still unmistakably Final Fantasy VII. I was able to go hands-on with it at E3, where I got to play a section of the famous North Mako reactor bombing run from the original game's opening. This area is instantly recognisable, from the elevated gantryways over ghostly green vapours, to the way the camera pans up to show the Mako reactor cooling tower as Cloud enters the building.
Cool.
As you descend ladders and climb deeper into the planet-destroying machine's guts, familiar enemies stand in your path. How you fight them, though, is entirely different.
I mean to say that, like, I don't think about camera angles. Like, I understand that they're important, of course, but I've never really, like, taken a lot of time to think about having a director and thinking about angles and, like, panning from to evoke different emotions. You guys know what I'm trying to say.
Old fans and newcomers begin on a level playing field. Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat system is a hybrid of the original game's active time battle and fluid action combat. You can unleash attacks with Cloud's Buster Sword just as you would in a normal action game like God of War, but abilities like skill attacks and magic can only be unleashed when an ATB charge is ready. When the charge is ready, you can slow the game to a crawl, almost like Fallout's VATS mechanic, and choose skills from a menu, just like in the classic game. The way the system pivots constantly between old and modern influences is brilliant, and it successfully avoids feeling like a system that can't decide whether it wants to be action or turn-based. The hands-on demo is mostly made up of the Guard Scorpion boss battle, or the Scorpion Sentinel as it's now known. The area it takes place in is almost identical to the bridge the original fight took place upon, although the platform is much wider now to allow for the kinetic action to unfold. The fight itself is a 3-stage affair that combines classic attacks and a variety of new elements that make the most of the new combat system.
Right over my head.
The Scorpion still has a search scope that targets your characters and locks on for a devastating attack. It can still use the tail laser too, although the Scorpion now causes that much devastation that you can hide behind collapsed sections of the reactor to avoid the attack.
Okay.
On top of these classic attacks, the boss now has a huge battery of missiles it can bombard you with. Luckily, Cloud can guard with his sword to reduce incoming damage.
What?
You'll still want to take some damage though, because that's what builds your limit gauge. Yes, limit breaks are back and function almost identically to how you remember. Chaining together these attacks is a joy, and part of that is down to the tag team-like way that you swap between characters. A tap of up or down on the D-pad swaps between Cloud and Barret, allowing you to adopt their unique fighting styles when you decide you need them. Each character has 2 modes they can swap between for added tactical options.
Oh, that's so
cool! For example,
cool.
Cloud has a Punisher mode that slows him down and causes each attack to do significantly more
Okay, I think
damage.
that's really cool, like being able to switch for whatever, because reasons that make sense to you guys, but not to me. That piece of information is like wildly overwhelming for me. I mean, I know that when I try, once I hit 100,000 subscribers, when I try playing a video game, it will not be something like this, but just like the idea, like that's so much to keep in your brain and your fingers. That's what I got.
Characters not currently under your control will still fight on their own, but you can still use the tactical menu by tapping X to issue attack commands to them without retaking direct control. The whole system takes a little getting used to. You're constantly switching between characters and attack modes, issuing commands and cycling through potential attacks. While veteran Final Fantasy VII fans will have a slight advantage as they will know what several of the skills do, it's still a complex beast that every player will have to master from the ground up. Assigning favourite skills to shortcuts makes moment-to-moment gameplay a little snappier, but the core of the system seems rooted in a very classic, command-based approach, even if it unfolds among a much flashier set of actions.
Imagine how strong you would have to be to wield that sword.
By the end of the Scorpion Sentinel battle, in which individual limbs become targetable and must be ground down in order to see it destroyed for good, you'll have a relatively good grasp on how combat works. There's almost certainly more to it. Who knows how summons will work, and a third-party member will unlock further possibilities. But what we have here in the E3 demo feels great, and I'm excited to explore it further, especially against other bosses if they've been retooled akin to the Scorpion. The demo is very combat focused, and so it's hard to talk about the wider elements of the game in any detail. But so far, Square Enix's treatment of the beloved characters seems strong. What were once static conversation boxes are now mini cinematics with motion capture performances, and it allows the personality of the characters to shine.
I feel trapped.
Barret is incredibly exaggerated in his mannerisms, and the game knows this. A cutting remark from the far more understated Cloud makes the confrontation between the two nice and humorous, indicating that Square hasn't forgotten that Final Fantasy VII has a ridiculous and goofy side.
Have you been a good girl?
Like many people who are excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake, the 1997 original is a vital component of my gaming past. As such, it's hard to truly say how this hands-on demo would go down with someone unfamiliar with Mako reactors, materia, and Shimmer. I do know, though, that it has adopted the sort of approach that a lot of people are looking for. This is a remake that, at least from this tiny slice, feels on the same level as this year's Resident Evil 2. It's very clearly a reinvention, something that takes a classic world and builds upon it with modern ideas, rather than just rebuilding the same game with modern graphics technology.
The tongue.
If, as Square has promised, and philosophy extends to the whole experience, then the years-long wait for Final Fantasy VII Remake will have been worth it.
That's a great... This guy.
If you're looking for more Final Fantasy VII Remake, why not check out our interview with the game's producer Katase, which we did at E3 this year.
Cool.
And if you can't remember what happened in the original game, why not check out Final Fantasy VII in 7 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys can let me know if you want me to watch Final Fantasy VII in 7 minutes. Okay, not at all what I plan to watch, but very interesting nonetheless. That's pretty cool. I just feel like the layers that go into any creative endeavor are so much more than those of us who aren't a part of it can really understand. And I love learning that stuff. I think it's so cool. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, if you'd like to test out one of my audiobooks for free, to use the link audibletrial.com/Hannah. It is in the description. I hope you are all happy and healthy, taking care of yourselves and each other, being friends instead. And as always, until next time, may the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and I'll be back.